Life. Welcome to the number one home for personal development. This is Coin Gang Ministries. My name is Ken Billions, if you didn't know. Man, when you come in the chat, do me a favor. Say what up, like the video, share the video. If this is your first time here, I appreciate it because the show can't go on without you. But really, if this is your fifth time, your 10th time, your 100th time, if you part of the Coin Gang family, you already know you are the pillar that's making this ministry stand. So I appreciate you. This cannot happen without your attention. This is the number one home for personal development. My name is Ken Billions. What's good? This is ministry for the abstract mind. And I want to let y'all know this is a safe space for out the box philosophy. If you can hear me, press one. And if you can see me, press two. And if everything is good on your end, you already know our philosophies over here. We have a couple of them. Top shelf or nothing is one of them. Do without will, but do no harm. That's another one, right? So we wear our philosophy over here, okay? Do without wilt, but do no harm. So if you really part of the Coin Gang family, go ahead to coingang.com, right? Just posted the link in the chat. If you want to wear the philosophy, we have necessary narcissism, top shelf or nothing, right? Fair exchange, no robbery. You know how we give it up over here. So go ahead and follow the link over to coingang.com. You know what I'm saying? For those that are really part of the family. If you have babies, keep your babies close to you. And if you have someone in your life that is trying to love on you, please let them love on you. You know, this love thing is not easy. It doesn't come with a manual. So please, grace for each other. Grace. All right. I have a book of the day. So I'm not going to lie to you. Haven't started this book yet. This book was gifted to me last year, but this is on my reading list. I'm gonna make an attempt to get through 100 books this year, right? So this is one of the books on my reading list. This was a gift to me by a very special person that knows what I like. It's called Life 3.0, right? Being human in the age of artificial intelligence. So this is on my book list, and this is my book of the day. If you're on YouTube, the link is in the description if you want to read what I'm reading. And I promise you, the book club is coming. I promise you, right? So if you want to be on what I'm on this year and ride the wave, Life 3.0, Max Tegmark is the author. And the link is in the description if you are on YouTube. And this is my book of the day. Today, for the members, How to Body Bag Builds week 5 has been uploaded if you haven't checked that. So check the membership tabs. And How to Body Bag Build is about creating content. It's about talking to people. It's an approach. It's me giving my mindset on how I move and shake in terms of creating content and engaging with people on a day-to-day. And that's for my members on YouTube, my members on Facebook, and for those that are members on kenbillions.com. So make sure you go and check your membership tabs to check out How to Body Bag Builds week 5. It was uploaded yesterday. So go ahead and check out your membership tabs. Today, we are talking about the biology of belief, right? We are talking about the biology of belief. We're talking about the religion of games and play. The biology of belief, we're going to talk about the religion of games and play. We're going to talk about animal consciousness. There's a difference between animal consciousness and man, right? Animal consciousness, man, right? Men run the world. Those that are in animal consciousness do whatever they're told, right? Or what people call the sheep, what people call the lost. The lost or the sheep are in animal consciousness. But those that are writing laws, those that are controlling the world, they are man. And there's a separation. One deals with the body, the other deals with the mind. We're going to talk about drapetomania. Drapetomania. And we're going to talk about mindset. Our conversation today is called The Victim King. Arrested development of the black male. Victim king. How can you put both of those together? How can both of those be in the same line? Victim, king. Both of those can't be true at the same time. You're either one or the other. Now, if you come from where a lot of us come from, right? You've heard language that makes you question everything, where you quite don't understand what's going on because things don't make sense. You're seeing a person being called a king, an original man, even in some circles, a god. But then at the same time, the individual is told that they are being oppressed and that the system is rigged against them. How do you have these two extremes exist at one time? It's very confusing, right? God King on this side, oppressed, marginalized, second class citizen on the other. Which one is true, right? Now, which one does the individual believe? Does the individuals believe that they are kings and gods and original men or custodians of the planet, right? Leaders of society? Or is it oppression, marginalization, second class citizenship? Which one of those? Shout out to the beloved. I appreciate you, love, on the super chat. I see you. Thank you, love. Happy New Year to you too. Happy New Year to you too. I appreciate you coming through on the check-in. So you see, we already have a problem, y'all, right? Because we have these ideals that don't match up. We have these ideals that don't match up. Shout out to Sheba on the check-in with the 10. I appreciate you, baby. This is very confusing, y'all, right? Very, very, very confusing. Which one is true? The black male cannot be a king and a victim, right? The black male cannot be the original man on the planet, but at the same time is not responsible for their condition. Can't have these two ideals. You have to pick one, right? The issue is arrested development. We'll get into that in a second. The issue is those that are classified as black males don't know the game that's being played, because the narratives that are told to the black male puts the black male in a defensive position, and it doesn't allow the black male to come to terms, or no, not come to terms, or lean into the fact that on this planet, fortune favors the bold. How come nothing ever happens to the colonizer? How come nothing or no ill will or misfortune happens to the oppressor? How come whatever the dominant society does, it's supported by nature? Why? Manifest destiny, no problem. Doctrine of discovery, no problem. Atomic bomb drops on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. No problem. Running a pipeline, right, through an indigenous tribe's land for resources, and those people don't benefit from it. No problem. Right? No problem. Why is that? Because on this planet, on the death realm, fortune favors the bold. I don't know if y'all have paid much attention to nature, but you see a bunch of things chasing each other and eating each other. Which one of those animals are going to heaven and which one are going to hell? Is the eagle that swipes down and eats the mouse or the rabbit going to heaven or going to hell? Neither. It's nature. And on this planet, things eat each other. So do humans. So do I, if you're nasty. But yeah, things eat each other, right? And the black male has been getting eaten by other men, and to cope with being on other men's menus, we have religion, and we have motivational themes, and we pray that the Most High sends destruction on the planet because we can't do nothing with this other man. So we need something supernatural to step in. You know how that sounds? That other men are applying pressure and we can't figure that out. So we need a supernatural force to deal with a human force. Damn. Y'all don't even know what kind of props y'all be giving up. You look at pressure that human beings is applying and you call them supreme. You elevate them to another level and call them supreme. Other men, you call the system that they create a supreme system. Meanwhile, you call yourself oppressed. Their system is supreme, and what you are is oppressed. And you say it out of your mouth. Appreciate the super chat. Video game controller throws a face down pin. Appreciate you, love. Clapping hands. Yeah. Birdman hands. Right? Now, I want everybody to think about that because words have power. All right? Let's go back to this God King, right? Original man, right? Oppressed. But them, right? Them, you say they're from the Caucasus. You say they are from the caves. You even say that they're recessive based on biology. But how are they applying the most pressure? How is the original at the lowest state, and the what you say, the person that was at the lowest state is running the world? What kind of trading placing movie is that? And nature allows it, right? Supreme over there, oppressed over here, right? Do you know why? It's because the black male in America is in arrested development, and the culture that the boys come from see to it that he's in arrested development. So it takes him out of the mindset of a conqueror and puts him in the mindset of the conquered. Y'all have no problem admitting that you're conquered. You have no problem calling them the dominant society, but I thought they was recessive though. You told me that the black man was a god. You told me that the black man is the original man. So how can you call another culture supreme and call them the dominant society, but you said your melanin is the key to unlock humanity? You got to make up your mind with your stories. Victim, right? Oppressed, second class citizen, at the same time, God, king, original man, right? They are from the Caucasus and all the derogatory terms you use for them. However, they are applying pressure. Which one is it? It's what you tell your sons. Salute to you. Yes, definitely Tough Talk Tuesday. For sure. Right? You tell your sons, yeah, son, this is how you gotta be when the police get behind you, right? You tell your sons, yeah, you gotta work as harder than everybody else just to get the crumbs on their plate, right? You tell your sons, right? Negative affirmations. The reason why is because you deal with heaven and hell in your mind. So your approach to your sons is to be docile and good human beings for the sake of going to an afterlife where they will get the rewards that they should have had here. Meanwhile, here, fortune favors the bold. Now, I'm going to show you something, right? Right? And I want you to be honest with what your eyes are seeing. But let's first deal with today's topic: arrested development. The black male in America is in arrested development. What does that mean? The term arrested development means development has stopped. Where though? Not in the body. Not in the body. Because the black male in America is a physical specimen. So not in the body. Where has the development stopped? The development has stopped in the mind. And this planet is based on mind. But the black American male, the engineering process has put the black American male in body alone, stuck in animal consciousness. So the development of the black male is continuing in terms of physiology, in terms of speed and strength, physically. But there's another component to the human being, the inner world, and that inner world of the black male is stuck in arrested development. The mind, right? The mind has stopped in business, in warfare, in personal development, in government, in finance. All the things that require thinking. You see the black male in America's presence missing in terms of thinking. Now, it's very interesting that a lot of passport bros have a love for South America. Well, let me show you why you love South America so much. Passport homie. Are you ready? What you're looking at, sir, is the Spanish Empire. Everything you see in red is the Spanish Empire. Okay? The empire was spread by the conquistadors. The root of the expansion is what we know as the doctrine of discovery, the papal bulls, that basically gave Portugal and Spain a license to conquer unchristian barbaric tribes, according to them, right? So the areas where y'all like to go in red, that's the Spanish Empire. Now, I didn't include Brazil, which was conquered by the Portuguese. Okay, this is why they speak Spanish. This is why they speak Portuguese. This is why their name is Enrique, Maria, Juan, right? Jorge. That's Spanish. Okay? Spanish comes from a country, Spain. The language of Portuguese comes from a country, Portugal. Just so we're clear. Now, the reason why you love South America is because of a couple characters. Let me introduce you to those characters. So when you are loving on Latina women or what has been converted to Latina women, because those were indigenous tribes of America first, right? Let me introduce you to Francisco Pizarro, right? He's an important person when it comes to the Americas, right? See, he did the work for you, right? He did the work for you. So when you're going to South America, you are walking into the world that was designed by men of Spain. You're walking into their world. Whatever you like about those women that have been converted into this new Catholic faith, that have been converted into European Spanish culture, what you like about those women have come from the men. Y'all don't thank the men that the women are like that. When y'all come back here, you're talking about how great the women are, but you're leaving out something. What you're feeling, sir, is the presence of the conquistadors in the Americas. Okay? Francisco Pizarro was the Spanish explorer who defeated the Inca in 1550 and 1533. This is way before 1619. Okay? He ruled the Incan he killed the Incan ruler Atahualpa, which sparked the fall of the Incan Empire. Atahualpa was the last of 12 Incan rulers. At one time, the Incan Empire was so powerful that it extended from Ecuador through Bolivia down to Chile. And he is credited, along with the Incan Civil War, for destroying an empire. This is very important, right? This is very important because you want no smoke with these men. So the black male in America is in a state of arrested development because if we open our eyes to what is really going on, there are men in the world that are applying pressure, and nature is allowing them to apply pressure. So we don't want to compete with these men. Keep it real. There's no black male born in America that has this type of resume around the world. Now, you can get on your moral high ground and say, but we look what they did, blah, 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 blah. Nature allows it. An empire. Before the African slave trade got popping in the West, these people was already applying pressure. Now, let me tell you what makes him and his ilk very important, because they started reclassification. The people that he is conquering are dark skinned, okay? But they was never called black until the Portuguese and the Spanish had contact with them. And here is your creation of Negroes. Reclassification. People are being traded from north to south before the transatlantic slave trade even gets in motion. The Spanish and Portuguese are doing their thing, and they're renaming people. They're not just renaming people, they are renaming the land. You have never known a world through an indigenous lens. We all, myself included, right? Myself included, have only seen the world through an Anglo-Saxon's lens, through a Frenchman's lens, through a Portuguese man's lens, through a German man's lens. Period. I have never seen the world through an indigenous lens. The topic, right? Arrested development. What does that mean? The term arrested development means the development has stopped. There's a reason why the development of the black male in America has stopped, because of this. You don't want no smoke. Because what they're willing to do for power, we're not. What we are willing to do, even for the women in our group, they will take it further. We won't. On a small level, on a street level, sure. But on a nationalistic level, hell no. On a global level, to apply pressure, no. Right? And that's why things are the way they are. Okay? All right. Peep this. Pizarro learned that the Incan Army, or the Inca Empire, had an army of 30,000 under Atahualpa. I think I'm saying his name right. Atahualpa. All right. Despite Pizarro with his 200 men plus 65 horses slaughtered the Incan army. Y'all heard? 30,000, 200 men. The power of technology. Right? Pizarro had different technology. So he was able to bring down, along with disease, an entire empire. But why though? What was he looking for? Gold. And y'all say money don't matter. Oh, money ain't everything. What do you think the conquistadors came to the West for? It was for their gold. But money don't matter. It's always been about the bread. They reached the Inca Empire in 1532. They launched a surprise attack and captured the city. He killed 10,000 Incas for the loss of 5,000 or five Spaniards. The topic of today, y'all, is the victim king. Arrest the development of the black male. And even myself I downloaded this stuff to be a victim king. At one hand, I was hearing things from the conscious areas, the conscious subcultures of so called Black America, that I represent the original man, right? The cream of the crop of civilization. I am who everybody is jealous of, right? So after soaking that up and being on that high, then they would tell me I'm oppressed though. So they would get me high and then bring me back down, right? So they're telling me that I come from kings and queens, but yet I'm oppressed. I built pyramids. My bloodline built pyramids. But at the same time, we're on welfare. At the same time, we're struggling to build a pyramid in our real life. Not in stone, but just building a family, building a network, building a community, right? So on one hand, you telling me that I am a king. This is what I'm hearing, right? I'm hearing this. You telling me I'm a king, and I believed it. But then you followed right up and said, but you're oppressed though. You a king, but you oppressed, right? So now we have raised a generation of victim kings, pyramid builders that have been kicked out of the house for welfare. Y'all also say that. You have to watch your words on what you're saying, right? Are these men kicked out of the house for welfare, but at the same time, they are descendants of the people that built pyramids? Can both of those be true? That's tough because when is the gene going to activate, right? Right? The fathers of math, the fathers of science. We talk the Greeks and the Romans, astronomy, the Dogon able to look at Sirius A and B, right? Right? But you got kicked out for welfare too. No, no, no. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. The topic of today is arrested development. The black male, with the help of the culture, though, is stuck in a state of arrested development. What does arrested development mean? The term arrested development means development has stopped, not in the body. Because when you want intimacy, people go to the black male for that, because obviously there's a physical intelligence in the black male that allows him to perform in that space better than other men, and he sought out for that. They even say in many spaces that the black male is most desired, but for what? For what? In the state of arrested development, you think that the intimacy actually has worth in real time. So the black male is a physical specimen, but the development somewhere else has stopped. Hey, appreciate you. Now, some dudes gonna get it, and I'm only talking to the some dudes. The other ones are gonna, do what they do. But that's to be understood in a state of arrested development, right? Because I've heard in the male spaces, we are the most desired men. And I'm saying, cool. There should be something tangible associated with that, right? If you are the most desired, you should profit from that, right? It shouldn't be animal consciousness. We'll talk about that in a sec. Now remember, South America. This is where the passport bros love to go. But let me tell you why you love to go there. Because the pressure that has been applied by other dudes. That's what you feel from the women. What you like about the women, you have to thank the men there because of the pressure that they apply. What you are dealing with is people that have been converted to Spanish culture in Europe, people that have been converted, right, to Catholicism, and you never said thank you to Pizarro. You never said thank you to Hernando Cortez. Now, what did Hernando Cortez say? I and my companions suffer from a disease of the heart which can be cured only with what? Love? Nope. Religion? Nope. Women? No. Gold. America has been about business since the first conquistador stepped their foot in this hemisphere. It's always been about bread. Always. You think the money don't matter, right? It was about bread 500 years ago. It's about bread now. The ways that currency is exchanged may change, but the principles stay the same, right? The agenda stays the same. So you met Pizarro. Now you have to meet Cortez, right? Because he also plays a role in why you like South America. But he also has played a role in the arrested development of the modern black male. Many, not all. There's a couple dudes applying pressure. And you know it's a couple because when you see it, you like, damn. he need to do an interview. He need to do an article, right? We need to do a documentary on him because it's isolated pressure. And he has the weight of the world on his shoulders because the other males cannot keep up with him. The exceptional black man in America is probably the man that is the most under pressure because he comes from a group of people that cannot keep up with him. Facts. So he has to have octopus arms because he must balance his life as well as his entire families because he is one of one. Hmm. Hmm. And he's oftentimes shamed for his exceptionalism, right? Because what makes him great is mind. So he might not have things that matter in a permanent underclass like swag. He might not have cool factor. See, none of that matters for real in the world. What's swag? What is a cool factor? What does that mean? How do you measure that for real, right? But it's the diddy bop of those in a permanent underclass and those in arrested development. Remember, arrested development is something it development has stopped. Stopped where though? Stopped where? Stopped where? Mindset. right? Mindset. Development has stopped in the mind. So Cortez says, I and my companion suffer from a disease of the heart, which can be cured only with gold. Cortez conquered the Aztecs, right? He heard stories about Columbus's voyages and the riches in the New World. So what did he come here for? Money. Okay? Now, who are these people in the Western Hemisphere with all this gold? Hmm? Hmm. Hmm. Many of you, when you're asking for reparations, you need to include the gold factor. Because where you're messing up when you're saying America, you're imagining America now, right? But America was divided up three ways before, from Spanish to the French to the English, right? This is why it's important for many of us to learn Spanish, because who we are has been recorded in Spanish journals and in French journals. You're not going to find your total identity in English, because that dealt with 13 colonies. But the French were here too, and the Spanish were here too. Look at everywhere in red. These people are being reclassified as Negroes. Okay? So the America you think did not exist at this time, right? There was no American government. All right? And a lot of the history that you're looking for is in another language. It's in Portuguese. It's in Spanish. These people, all in red, are being called something else, right? They are being called what they never were called before, which is black. All of a sudden, you now have a new group of people that never exist anymore, never existed in history, called black. The people in red that are being reclassified have a nation. There's infrastructure here. The Spanish are decimating all of this. And you know what? This puts the black male in America in arrested development. Because when I say all that and I put all of that on the table, no smoke. It forces the black male to go in a place that is games and play, right? No smoke. Because the conquistador is applying hella pressure. Hella. So look at the area that Cortez is running through, right? Y'all, this is a lot of land, right? So Pizarro brought down the Incas. Cortez goes and brings down the Aztecs. These are empires that are thousands of years old, older than what people thought initially. Every time they dig, they find a new damn bone or a new tool, right? So people are building on top of each other, right? Cortez brings down Central America and he extends all the way to Cuba, right? So people's entire identity is being absorbed into another culture. See, it doesn't matter what happens to the adults, but the babies, once they're born into this reclassification, they don't know anything else. Why do you think they speak Spanish in Central America? Right? Think about the names there. So when you are a passport bro and you are complimenting the women, no, 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 sir. No, 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 no. You are complimenting the men. See, I have to do this. I have to say this to you. There's no such thing as black male patriarchy at all. Because to be a patriarch, as we study it, you have to be able to put other men in your name. The little bit of maleness that we have received came at the crumbs of other dudes. Let's keep it real. Coverture, that comes from them. Marriage, walking down the aisle in the wedding dress and the tux, that comes from them. The religion comes from them. The way to see the world comes from them, right? You're born into that. And because that's so overwhelming, it puts the male in arrested development. Because that is insane to know that you are in another man's reality and you can't do nothing about it, but just adapt to the shit and try to live a good life. Woo. So on one hand, see, y'all can clap back if the women pull this card. You can't clap at me if I pull the card because I'm in the same pot with you. And this is what it is if we really want to get technical. If we want to step out of arrested development and look at things for what they are, we are in another man's mind, right? We see the world through the eyes of the Spanish, through the eyes of the English, the Portuguese, the French, the German. We do not know what the world looks like through an indigenous lens. This is why we have Judeo-Christian values, right? Mesopotamian belief systems, right? Huh. Y'all good with that? We ain't got no choice. You don't have no choice. The reason why you don't have no choice is to get out of it, first of all, is not overnight, but requires something or a place to play that we don't want to play at, and that's mind. You solve your problems with thought and mind, right? There's an area that we don't want to play at collectively, and that's competition here, right? So, ill. We already know who the biggest, fastest, and strongest in terms of one to one on the planet is. To tell you how sophisticated this individual is, that they created an environment that goes out of an animal state into a thought state because can't win over there. So now we're created in an environment where the competition is a mind competition. Who can impose ideals on each other, right? Psychology, right? Then you go to dark psychology to be, and then to be able to implant images in your subconscious, right? To be able to control you with symbols and sounds. That's where the game is being played at, right? Symbols thrown in your face that you don't know what means, right? Then it downloads into your subconscious and it changes your behavior. Sounds and words, right? Not knowing language, right? Using words that we think is powerful but has no power. God is a German word. Again, we've never seen the world outside of the framework of someone from Europe. Even the language, God, And we think that it means something very, very big. But in etymology, in the Germanic perspective, it just meant to pour a libation. But we were given language without studying the etymology of the language. Could that be when we use certain terms, it doesn't work? Right? God help me. What does that mean though? Right? This puts the male in arrested development because in order to call on what we describe as the creator or the all or the great architect, you must use a word that actually has no power when you say it. It is a word given to those on the bottom of society, right? And it's a self deception thinking that we can use the word to scale. But I highly doubt that is the language for those at the top of the pyramid, because to access the power from the unseen, they are going to use a way different word than us. Because remember, when Cortez, when Pizarro are stealing the gold, guess what they're also taking, right? Science. They have the priest. They have the priestess. They have the whole entire priesthood with them, right? And they're learning the ways of the indigenous. They're learning the ways of control and manipulation. They are able to look at the stars and tell time, right? Oh, but it don't stop there though. Huh. What about Balboa, right? You know where Panama is? He dominates Panama. This is patriarchy. I'm sorry, even the women, no, the black male's not a patriarch. You have to be able to put another man in your name. You have to be able to put another man in your name. It ain't about job and, I can put a turkey on the table. That's dope. You have to be able to put another man in your name. Patriarchy is about dominating men, not women. That's where y'all got it twisted, and that's where you're fighting in your pill spaces. Yeah, the patriarchy, the patriarchy, the patriarchy. Yo, you eat off another man's patriarchy. You eat off him, right? The hierarchy that you have enjoyed for a long time came at the hands of another man, right? The man over top of the woman, that's not a natural thing. That happens because of them. They did that. Because when they are colonizing and going around the world, you know what they see? Balance between men and women. By the time they leave these areas, the man is on top of the woman. So here's the thing. You don't actually want to dismantle what you call white supremacy. You just want to be the person doing the shit. Keep it a buck. I ain't even mad at you, but keep it real. Because if you find out the indigenous way that you're not on top of the woman, you will definitely favor this dynamic. If you found out that your people were pagans, right? Where there's no separation between the feminine and the masculine in terms of the godhood, you would not rock with that. So you don't like the fact that they have the one up on you, but you ain't really trying to knock the whole thing down like you claim you are. Because if you do, you will go back to a natural state where the feminine and masculine are one and the same. You don't want that. You don't want that. You want the big piece of chicken. You want to believe that the man in the was created first, even though the oldest bones on the planet don't say that. Right? When we look at cave paintings of the feminine, they're 40,000, 50,000 years old. This is not a knock on you. It's arrested development. Nigga, I'm from the same thing as you. But over here at Coin Gang, it's personal development. We don't care what the truth is, right? If that's the truth, that's what it is. So you have Pizarro, you have Cortez, you have Balboa, and it's many more. But these are the superstars, right? That's Panama. This is not little areas of land, y'all. They are putting women, children, and men into their culture. They're using violence, they're using missionaries. This is patriarchy, y'all. This is patriarchy, right? This is what patriarchy looks like. Okay? Patriarchy is not dating. Patriarchy is not arguing on podcasts and panels. Patriarchy is going to other men and competing with them and saying, if you lose, I erase you from history and put my name on you. And I rename your land. That's patriarchy, where the losers become the servant of other men. And guess what? If you lose, they get your women and they get your children and they breed out your culture. That's patriarchy. When y'all go to South America, you are not doing Black American patriarchy. You're still in their shit. Right? You are in their ideology. And you have the nerve, right? Which is not a flex. You have the nerve to compare women from that culture to women from this culture. But what's the difference? What's the difference? Women from this culture, sir, are not in your name. Women from this culture are in another man's woman's name. Kelly, Amber, Natisha, Becky, Miriam, Monica, Yolanda, right? You didn't name the women in your group. Can't be a patriarch, right? Can't be a patriarch. So the best option is balance with the woman in your group, right? And come up with some other shit and then plan for 500 to 1,000 years. But you can't go to another area and compare those women to these women, women that you haven't named under the rules of patriarchy, right? You didn't name the women. The women are not in your image and your likeness. They are in another man's woman image and likeness. Come on now. So this is the reason for the arrested development. No smoke. No smoke. That shit is very overwhelming. Right? See, this is the thing. You can't be called a king for nothing. I can't be called a king for nothing without implying pressure. We have these names that try to build each other up, but at the end of the day, the brain don't believe it though. The brain don't believe it though. Under a system of patriarchy, it's man versus man. Right? But their patriarchy has elevated to another level to where they don't even engage in physical combat to get their point across. They create algorithms now that control your home. They don't have to do anything to you anymore. The algorithm on your phone, based on your algorithm, you don't even get certain news. You're not even privy to certain conversations. Look how the game has morphed, right? You think it's this. It ain't that no more. They already won that. That was 500 years ago. They are off that. It's hyperdimensional now. They're not doing this, right? They don't even fight wars right now with humans like that anymore. Drones are manned. They are building robot armies. You like this. You think it's this. It ain't that. You still talking about Tulsa. It ain't that. Now they don't need to burn nothing down. You deal with frequencies to where you can't even hear the sound and you just get a headache and you just fall. What we talking about, right? The game has 10x and morphed, right? You stuck in the old days. You stuck on the old rules. It's off that. It ain't that no more, and it ain't been that for a long time, right? So what you're doing is game and play. That's arrested development, right? Pay attention to the conversation, right? If I want to study you, I'll just check you out online. I will go from page to page to page to page, from timeline to timeline. What are you talking about? Keep it a buck. It's about playing around. It's about games and play. It's not about technology. It's not even about mating correctly. It's about creating babies with no plan for them when they get here. You talk about the woman in your group having a bunch of abortions, but you don't even know what to do with the babies here now. So if 60 or 70 million of those babies that you claim were aborted were automatically thrust into the marketplace, what would be the plan for them now? Remember, you can't deal with single moms. So, boom, okay, right? So now you got 70 million more people in the marketplace. And you would do what with them? The difference between the way we think and the way they think, they're poor men. They sent them out to conquer another land. Who you think was on the boats with Pizarro? It wasn't royalty. It was the men at the bottom of their society that were willing to do anything, anything to come up. And they did. What are you willing to do? Besides, argue back and forth on who let down the community. What are you willing to do? Right? Because what I'm showing you, fam, is the game is definitely a survival game. And it is a game of dog eat dog. But now it's more sophisticated because it's mind times 10. So much so that those that are using their mind have completely separated themselves from those using the body, to the point where those people stuck in the body, if the information is not entertaining, you can't even listen to it. It has to be entertaining, or you can't listen to it. What does that say? Right? Because I promise you, when they talk at the World Economic Forum, there's nothing entertaining about what they're saying. Come on now, right? Arrested development, right? And those black men in America that have left a animal state and graduated to a mind state are very few, right? Very few. It's only a few of them, right? And you put so much community pressure on the few of them that have graduated past the animal state to the mind state, right? And it's him that is supposed to lift up 30 million people. It's not happening. It's not happening. Thank you, Charmaine. Appreciate you, love. That ain't happening, y'all. So the masses will forever be stuck in arrested development because fear. It's fear. Because what are you going to do with all this smoke that these people are applying? Y'all know who this is? Right? You know who this is? See, what I want to show you is patriarchy, right? And actually what it looks like, right? This is arguably the greatest conqueror of all time. Now, notice something, right? I'm able to bring up these men that we call now colonizers and what they did was evil, but you notice something? How come they're allowed to be born? Nature allows this behavior, right? This is Genghis Khan, right? Now, take a look at the empire. Do you know how big that is? And I'm not I don't want to be cruel. I want to be honest cuz I'm from the shit too, right? Yo, let me tell you something. I already know behind closed doors, the most powerful men in the world don't even consider us. Like behind closed doors, let's be real. No shade to him. In terms of those that are pressing buttons, World Economic Forum, Carlyle Group, Bilderberg Group, Trilateral Group, the people that are pushing buttons, right? What do you think Umar Johnson looks like to them? Be serious. And no shade to him, right? I'm talking just real. What does he look like? Umar is talking about what those men are doing, right? Those men are doing it. Umar's teaching the people about those men and saying those men are bad. And matter of fact, we need a reparation from those men. What do you think those men think? Now, here's the funny thing. Umar's bigger than those men. The men in this culture that are asking for reparations or asking for sorry, you're bigger than them. That's to show you where the game is being played at, right? We're bigger than them. Can't figure them out though, right? Think about that for a second. I thought it was all about size and brawn and strength. We're bigger. But the smallest men in the world are the ones applying pressure, right? The men small in stature, the men small in height, small in BMI have the biggest minds in the world. And those men are able to create a condition that puts millions of very big guys, very agile guys, right? Right? Guys that, according to the women, are well endowed, right? Physical specimens. But those men take orders and are controlled by men that are littler than them in all facets. Why? Because the history that I've showed is these men are willing to go absolutely platinum in order to get their goals accomplished. Look at the land. Look at the land. Okay? Look at the land that is conquered. Right? Look at the land. You cannot say that you're the most desired. You're not the most desired, right? Let me tell you something what the permanent underclass does, right? We remap things and make things mean what they want it to mean. I want to tell y'all a secret, right? About these people. The way they go to war is also the way they engage in sex, right? The taboos that you have regarding violence and in sex, they don't have. So they go platinum in both places. So someone from their culture desiring you in that space, it doesn't mean anything, right? It is a primal expression that they are willing to engage in like it's nothing. This is how they can be super intense with you in that space and get up like nothing ever happened and go back to what they was doing. Meanwhile, you have an emotional connection to this. You think it means something. You think it's sacred. If it was so sacred, then how were they able to come here and everything you see in red, put it in red? One of the ways they did it was through sex. So much for sacred, huh? Why is it so easy for them to do? Hmm? Just talking about. You're not desired as a human. You're desired based off a kink. And if you get off on that, that's fine. But call it what it is. Call it what it is. People can do that with you and turn their brain on and get up from that. Y'all carry that space with you. So much so that the most popular content is people in this culture talking about their relationship and what happened in their marriage. Y'all are stuck in that relationship bubble. That is the highest form of creativity. Are you married? You're not married, then you don't have a life. Then what? Look what I'm showing you. Look what these people are doing. Your focus is marriage or nothing. Did you have any kids? Look at the land masses that is being controlled. Panama, Central America, South America, whole coastlines. You know what's part of those coastlines? Nickel, right? Resources from the ground. And we are focused on, are you married? You know why? Arrested development. When you're stuck in arrested development, it's only a few areas you can play. Right? When you are in arrested development, your mind doesn't go further than games and play. Y'all will meet a woman that is running a Fortune 500 company doing billions in sales. You don't care because she ain't married. What does that say about your culture? Since y'all love to compare other groups, okay, compare it from this perspective. What we think is big is very small. On the grand scheme of things, what we aspire to be is small. What we tell our little boys, right? What we tell the boys is small. You don't really tell them they can be anything. Not for real, for real. You don't believe that. Because you believe, oh, my son might not come back when he goes outside. That's what you put in your boys. You don't tell a man, go out and bring the world back to me. Straight up. And let me tell you something. Can't eat your morality, fam. Whatever you're thinking in your mind, you can't eat it, fam. There's proof that what you think of your morality, it don't work. There's proof. I can prove it to you. Let me show you how I can prove it. Let me show you how I can prove it. You see him? Don't you think the people that when he put his foot on their neck, wasn't they praying to their deity? Huh? They seen smoke come out of a gun. They seen this armor and these swords. They was praying like hell. Did it matter? You know why? Fortune favors the bold. Whoever wins the war owns God. That's how this works. Y'all wouldn't use the word God if you wasn't in another man's mind. He won the war, therefore that's the language. So when you are trying to have a spiritual connection, you use that word. But I have a question. How come the word is not helping the group get out of the bottom? What's the purpose of the word? What is the purpose of the belief if you're going to have the belief and be part of the permanent underclass? If you're going to have the belief and not be a part of the global conversation of movers and shakers, what's the purpose of the faith? Oh, to go to heaven. Copy. Got you. Got you. To experience bliss when you die, but not when you hear, right? And those stuck in Arrested Development has basically said it is totally fine if they run this world. We're going to get them back in the next world. You think so? Now, there is a space. There is a space. I'm not going to front. I'm not going to front. There is a space where the Black American male is really dope, right? Really dominates, right? Y'all protested in front of the Barclays Center so Kyrie can get back to dribbling the basketball, right? It was a big thing about a player recently that went into cardiac arrest on the football field. But every year, at least 40 to 60,000 black males or black people, period, pass away from cardiovascular issues. But the problem is they don't do it on the football field. If the trauma is not filtered through this, it don't have quite the effect. All the focus and attention is here. Here's where our greats come from. And yeah, this is an ability to scale out of poverty. Hell yeah, it is. I ain't gonna front. The checks that they're cutting, whew, crazy, right? Crazy. But this is as far as it goes right here. This is it. Meanwhile, they do this. They do this. All that red, that was Spanish, right? All of you see in red was Spanish territory, conquest, patriarchy, right? Patriarchy. And unfortunately, for the American black male, this is the domain. This and this. That's it. And guess what? Who makes the money though? The black American male does the sports, does the loving, who runs all the companies though, right? They do the thinking. Why? Rest of development. You can operate in the physical world, right? Which is the old world. It's the old world. The new world has been digitized, but what they have set up was so ill is that the black American male can operate in the physical world and get it even scale, get new cars, houses, and all that. But there's rules. There's rules. You have to be the dancer and the player and the football guy and all that. You have to be here, right? But your financial planner and your lawyer, all the things that make your world go around, they're going to be other different people. You dance, basketball, right? Rap, but when it comes to the money stuff, but remember what Cortez said. I and my companion suffer from a disease of the heart, which can be cured only with gold. And if you notice, when it comes to money talk on social media, if it's not a get rich scheme, it's very hard for those in the permanent underclass to sit through it. Even when talking about money in so-called Black America, we have to talk from a perspective of charity. You can't speak from a perspective of capitalism. You always have to lead with, because they're not letting us in certain doors, right? You have to bring up nostalgia. You just can't talk about business, black and white business, straight up. It has to be rooted in some type of social justice. And if you are a man or a woman in this culture and you are just straight capitalist, you're an enemy, right? You are a sellout, right? They come at you if you are money driven, right? Because in this culture, you have to be pleasure driven, entertainment driven, right? Feelings driven. If you, most people that are brown, if you are the money person in your family, they can't stand you because you come in and you take the feelings off the table and you talk about the business of granny's life insurance or the business of granddad's life insurance or the house. You come in with the business and they can't stand you. You have to come in with the entertainment and then they'll receive it. Right? You can't go to church. You can't be a pastor and just be a biblically based pastor. You got to include the fuckery, right? The choir is about entertainment. The fire singer is about entertainment. The peas, greens, ham, tomatoes, you name it. That was part of a sermon. What that got to do with the Bible? It has to be entertainment based for these people to listen. Why? This is such a diss. So you mean to tell me if it's information that needs to be spread to the people, you have to say it in an entertaining way or they're not going to rock with it. What's that say? What's that say, right? Arrest the development. Arrest the development, right? That's why news in this culture is entertainment based. But why would that be news? Wouldn't it be more news about the funding that's going on with Ukraine and United States? And is that putting Ukraine in debt? You ever read the book Confessions of an Economic Hitman? Right? Why is Solange or Beyonce news and not a corporate merger? Right? Or what's going on in your town with town hall? Right? I'm going to my meeting in my town this week. There's a town hall in my area, and I'm going to meet all the newly elected people in my town. Do you know why? Because I was born in Arrested Development, where other people were required to be responsible, but when it came to me, no, don't worry. No, 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 no. Don't put too much on them, right? We'll fix the roads, we'll build the houses, we'll educate the children, we'll figure out the sewage, the sanitation, we'll figure out government for them. Let them just relax and chill. I'm gonna talk about that word in a second because it's called drapetomania, which is on the books. Still, it means something because the people are behaving like that to this day, right? To this day. So here, all good, right? Some of our best come out of here, right? Oh, but when people thought that Michael Jordan was investing in prison, you didn't like it. But why not? It's a business. Are people going to stop going? Right? You expect him not to make money. But hold on. Cortez said, I and my companions suffer from a disease of the heart, which can be cured only with gold. Guess what? When you are a dude over there, you ain't got to worry about that. You can run the score up. It don't care if they protest 1%. You're going to do what the hell you want to do. But over here, wait a minute. You're investing in prisons? Nope, that ain't right. What do you mean? Don't go to prison and I won't invest in it. Right? It's a business. See? But Jordan can't be a capitalist. He must be social justice first. Right? First. Right? Businessman fourth. Right? Because that was the rumor. Oh, Michael Jordan invests in prisons. So what? So what? When you put money on your boyfriend's books or your homie's books, you're investing in prison, right? Every time you send money for commissary, you are investing in prisons. So if Jordan really was investing in prisons, so what? This is America. See, that's the difference between real patriarchy, right? Because real patriarchy, you can't say nothing. right? Patriarchy on this side, you can social justice it up, right? If a black woman goes to corporate America and eats it up and is highly successful, you expect her to come back to where she was born. She didn't ask to be born there, right? But you expect her to come back there and fix it when it was messed up when she got there. You expect Michael Jordan to not invest in prisons. You know why? Arrested Development. Because the approach to everything is from a childlike state, right? From the perspective of a child. And anything outside of animal consciousness is an issue. So let me explain animal consciousness to you, right? Male bear, male lion, male, right? What I'm going to explain to you is the difference between a male and a man. They are different. And it's not about facial features. It's not about puberty. It's not about nothing, right? One is body, one is mind. One has the ability to transcend, the other doesn't. The male gorilla, the male lion, and the male can both procreate. They both get hungry. They both bleed. They both have a skeleton. When they die, all three of their bodies will decay. However, the human male has the ability to do something that the other males don't. And that's to transcend the body and be more than the animal. Do you understand that? A man is not born. You are born a male, right? But you have the ability to transcend your body. And it's not from you getting a job, or it's not from you buying a woman a wedding ring. That don't make you man. What makes you man is your ability to control your animal consciousness. The animal consciousness is what aligns you with the rest of the creatures in the world. In your animal conscious state, you do everything other animals do, but you can do something they can't, right? And that is transcend their animal state to a different state. Here's the problem that the Black American male has been conditioned to stay in one state, and that is the animal state. Body below the neck, never having access to mind, right? When you notice the Black American male, and I'm being objective, I'm from it, but when you notice the Black American male, what is he doing? The Black American male blames the female for his condition. Oh, it's her, right? It's her fault, right? She's the reason for all of this. Fine, right? But you can't be a patriarch, though. Right? Right? Many of you argue that the woman in your group is more aligned with the so-called dominant society, right? Okay. What if Goldman Sachs knows how to work with her better than you do? What if everything you say about her being aligned with the dominant society is true, right? And what if the alignment is like that because you don't know what to do with her? Right? One thing about those other people, they know how to come in and use what we don't use. How do we know? Oh, gentrification. Damn, I used to live there. 5 years later, they moved me out. Grass is growing. A park is there. Property value is up. Wait a minute, I used to live there. Why ain't it look like that when we lived there? Mmm, mmm. What is the incentive to be with you? Because at the end of the day, it's self-preservation is the first law of nature. Y'all take the black community and you think it's something, right? And people supposed to choose this ideal of race over survival. It's not happening like that. People are going to be self-motivated because people are individual entities, okay? So what's the incentive? If you removed all the fluffy king talk and blackness and black babies and what does that mean? In the grand scheme of things, tangibly, what does that mean? Right? What is that? Virtue signaling? Is that the word? Symbolism. What does it mean though? What can you do with any of that? Right? So, why rock with you? Right? You don't even rock with you. Because when you see something that mirrors you in another man, your first thing is to ask him, why you staring at me? Right? Your first thing is to eliminate him. So, why would you expect the women in your group to rock with you when you don't rock with you? When your first thing is to cut up and scar those that are in your image and your likeness and delete them. But you tell the woman they should rock with you, even though you don't like things that are like you. You don't have a thing for it. You don't look at you don't look for all this race conscious y'all talk about. Y'all don't look at each other and be like, damn, bro, I just love your blackness, bro. Oh no, can't do that because that would be considered gay, right? Can't you can't just say that. You gotta be a certain type of way with your compliment. You can't, yo, bro, your hair is fire, right? Your hair is fire. Yo, bro, you hella clean. Nah, you gotta say, yeah, he alright, right? So you can't even rock with you for real. Think about what I'm saying. Why would the women choose when y'all don't like each other? So if the women seeing you like, damn, bro, you fly, nah, you fly, nah, you handsome, nah, but you can't say that because even to show admiration, you gotta put on cool glasses because you gotta maintain the cool factor about it, right? Yeah, them shoes cool. My cousin got those. Yeah, he getting a little bit of money. He alright. Yeah, his wife is cool. I could get a better one though. She alright. Yeah. When you talk about each other, everything is gonna be described through a filter of low. Yeah, he got a little car. Yeah, he getting a little bit of money, right? He got a little bit of follower, 30 million. He got a little bit of followers, right? Yeah. He got a low house, 10,000 square feet. But he got a low house because you can't give it up too much. But you expect the women to see you and be like, oh my God, baby. Blah, blah. Don't work like that. Don't work like that. If you can't put other men in your image and dominate them, then at least amongst each other, your terms of endearment have to be something very inspirational outside of the N word. That is not a term of endearment. There's nothing endearing about exchanging the N word with each other. And I've done it, right? Millions of times. But that ain't, right? That's not saying he's smart, right? That's not saying that man is talented. That's not saying that man is capable. That is, what's the affirmation, right? On one second, you say king, but then you follow it up and say white supremacy. Is he a king or are they supreme? Which one? And why are the kings not going over there to what they say is supreme and asking for smoke? Highlander, there can be only one. So on one second, it's all these black kings living under a system of white supremacy. How does that work? Which one of those kings in that group is King Arthur? Which one of those kings in that group that's like, you know what? Nah, I don't like these dynamics, right? Now I'm only speaking from the perspective of those that you talk all this shit, right? Bust a move, right? Why you marching? Why you asking for reparations? Right? Build your school. What's the problem? Like, kings, this is what I'm saying. Kings. Y'all telling the world you're kings, that your skin makes you a king. But I don't believe you because these people right here, they ain't say all that. They just ran up on us and put their foot on our neck. And the only thing we think we could do is pray the shit away. Most High, come back and redeem us from Esau. You need a supernatural being to come back to handle human affairs. What does that say about them? No wonder when they take their selfies, they be at the top of skyscrapers. No wonder they are at the bottom of the Marina Trench. No wonder they trying to go to Mars because it ain't no comp. No wonder. No wonder they're just been like, you know what? I'm going to just try my competition with nature. You got Wim Hof freezing himself in ice and not even dying, swimming in ice water. You got Wim Hof swimming, sitting on top of Mount Everest with boxers on. That's the places that they play at because they can. Meanwhile, our measurement for greatness is your ability to be married. But what husbands are plastered over the wall in the terms of the Hall of Fame? That's not what you talk about. You talk about the numbers on the board. Marriage is something you do because you're alive and you're compatible with somebody. But they never in history put you on the Hall of Fame because of your marriage. What did you do in industry and your institutions? That's how a man is measured. Y'all talking about dating and mating. Meanwhile, a man and a couple other dudes took control over land masses and reclassified the people and called them a different name. And that's why we refer to ourselves as black. So much so, we think people in history were black. We look at a person 50,000, 60,000 years ago and be like, see, black people were there too. They didn't know that that was their name. They never called themselves that. That's how ill reclassification it is. That's how ill them people is, to where you think black is an actual group of people and not their clan or their nation. No, a color. You think a color is an actual historical group of people. No, it's not. Pizarro called us black, and Portuguese called us preto and plata. And oh, these Negroes right here. And that became our name. That's applying pressure. I can't even be mad at them. I can't even be mad at them. I can't even be mad. What's good, fam? Appreciate you. Appreciate you. For sure. I can't even be mad at the pressure they apply. Like, I'd rather be on the right side of history than the wrong side. But one of the reasons why I believe that many ADOS, Black American male, right, are struggling to go to the next level. Term, very, very important. It's called drapetomania, right? It's called drapetomania, all right? Drapetomania was coined by a gentleman by the name of Samuel Cartwright. He claimed science proved blacks had similar brains, smaller brains, more sensitive skin, and overdeveloped nervous systems, all of which resulted in them being naturally servile. Therefore, according to science, he argued, the Negro is a slave by nature and can never be happy in any other condition. Samuel Cartwright invented the term drapetomania after combining the Greek words for runaway and madness to describe any black woman or man or child who didn't want to be brought, sold, traded, leased, or held in bondage forever with no rights whatsoever. That's drapetomania, y'all. To where if you want something other than slavery, you're crazy and suffer from a mental condition, because he believed that that was the natural state of the Negro. Mind you, he's using black now after the Spanish had already reclassified. So he's coming into the new world with this reclassification, right? Do you think this thinking have disappeared, man? What is saying in drapetomania that if anyone with brown skin wants to be free, something's wrong with them. They have a mental illness. And you know what? Drapetomania is something that we apply to ourselves and each other. If you see, I'm just for lack of better words, someone black child not wearing Jordans, not wearing Skechers, right? And they have an innocence about them, that rubs you the wrong way. They're too free, right? If a black man or woman says that I scuba dive, niggas don't do that. right? It's this box. You don't know how to do the electric slide, right? Huh. You don't know the electric slide? You don't know the Cupid shuffle? Nah, I'm not into that. I'm into punk rock. What? That's drapetomania. Was what are you doing being free? Something is wrong with you. The funny thing is, right? I see what y'all done to black boys and girls who are different. If they paint their nails black, if they are into gothic, whatever it is, you call them weird. If they are not all hip hoppy, if they are not three cuts in your eyebrows trying to wild out, if they ain't what we call fast, you say something wrong with them children over there when they're not fast. That's drapetomania. That's what Samuel Cartwright was talking about. Any one of these groups of people that don't want to be a slave, their natural position, something is off with them, right? Y'all do that too, right? Um, Can somebody tell me, please, there is like a festival um of like black kids and they're like super like rocky, right? They're like into punk rock, you know what I'm saying? And they got their hair different and they paint their nails. They're like super different. They wear like colorful mohawks. What are they called again? What's that? Is that not Afropunk? What is that? Right? Afropunk. Okay, Afropunk. Afropunk. Y'all call them weird. When you meet them, they're the nicest people you ever met. Nothing weird about them. But because they don't express themselves within those cultural change that we understand, they are weird. That's drapetomania. Y'all technically don't like free babies, right? Y'all don't like free babies. If you smell too much innocence on them, you'll corrupt them. You'll corrupt them. The Afropunk kids aren't all the way blended in to Black America. That's a subgroup under a subgroup under a subgroup under a subgroup. Y'all say that's that white shit. That's what y'all say. Appreciate you, Mary. Appreciate you. Right? That's drapetomania. That's what Samuel Cartwright was talking about now. He was talking about in context of those that wanted to run away from their subjugation. Right? But it's the same here. Because, first of all, y'all call a black woman a bedwench if she dyes her hair. It's her hair. It's her hair. How does what she do hating herself? Who the how can you even have a license to say who hates themselves and who doesn't? And the self has nothing to do with the group. What she wants to do with her body, her hair, has nothing to do with you. That's drapetomania. You don't believe that a black man or woman can have self autonomy away from the group. They have to define themselves within the group dynamic. We. Y'all don't even believe in a we. Y'all just say that, right? That is just a weapon. You weaponize the word to try to strip anybody that's operating in their own personal sovereignty, right? That's drapetomania, right? This is on the books. So he invented the term drapetomania after combining the Greek words for runaway and madness to describe any black man, woman, or child who didn't want to be bought, sold, traded, leased, or held in brutal bondage forever with no rights. He continued by saying, it is unknown to our medical authorities, although its diagnostic symptom, the absconding from service, is well known to our overseers. The cause that induces the Negro to run away is as much as disease of the mind as any other species of mental alienation and much more curable. The gentleman is named Samuel Cartwright. Listen to this. The cause that induces the Negro to run away is as much as a disease of the mind as any other species of mental alienation. That's drapetomania, y'all. Running away to freedom was considered a mental illness. And then we turn right around, right? And if whoever runs away from poverty or the community, right? The dysfunction, you say they're crazy and they need to come back and fix this what they was already born. Even though the mothers and fathers, grannies that was before us, they didn't fix it. But we're supposed to. And if we choose ourselves and leave, we're everything but a child of God, right? Drapetomania. Because what are you doing choosing something other than us? You have to choose us, right? If you say that you are not an oppressed person, they will argue you down. How dare you think that you are not being controlled by the system? You didn't know what happened to Black Wall Street? Right? How dare you not pick the narrative? How dare you not pick Arrested Development? How dare you do something criminal? And that's choosing yourself, because inside of this group of people, there's no such thing as the self. It's only the collective, which operates all day in animal consciousness. Back to drapetomania. But he didn't stop with diagnosing enslaved blacks. He also created a term that applied primarily to so-called uppity free blacks by stating, need y'all to help me with this one, Dicenthesia. Well, no, that's a tough one, right? Dicenthesia, okay? So he didn't stop with diagnosing enslaved blacks. He also created a term that applied primarily to so-called uppity free blacks by stating that Dicenthesia Ethiopica, right? Basically meaning the abnormal and consistent laziness of Ethiopians slash Africans is a disease affecting both mind and body, much more than prevalent among free Negroes living in clusters by themselves among slaves. Listen, in addition to a scientific justification for these two diseases, there was, contended Cartwright, a biblical justification as well, as he asserted if the white man attempts to oppose the deity's will by trying to make the Negro anything else than submissive knee bender, which by the Almighty declared he should be, by trying to raise him to a level of himself, the Negro will run away. But if he keeps him in a position that we learn from the scripture was intended to occupy, that is, the position of submission, the Negro is spellbound and cannot run away. Wait a minute. So, When did submission ever become a good term? I'm gonna put something on your plate, black man, right? Because you like to talk about submission, right? Samuel Cartwright thought your natural state was submissive under the white male, right? Is submission positive? Because you want the woman to be that. But when a man wanted you like that, it's a problem. Why? What's if submission is positive, like y'all say, then what was the problem with Samuel Cartwright coming up with these terms saying that your natural state, biblically, and scientifically, was to be submissive under the white man? Y'all fought to get from under that. Why? Is it a bad thing? Is it bad? Hold on. Let's comb that again. Let's comb that again. In addition to a scientific justification for these two diseases, there was, contended Cartwright, a biblical justification as well. As he asserted, if the white man attempts to oppose the deity's will by trying to make the Negro anything else than the submissive knee bender by trying to raise him to the level of with himself, the Negro will run away. But if he keeps him in a position that we learned from scripture was intended to occupy, that is, the position of submission, the Negro is spellbound and cannot run away. So, when does submissive become this positive thing that the woman should do? Right? Because if it's not good for you to be submissive under them, then why do you want submissive women? When it was, you never viewed it as a positive, right? Or does it work like this? The woman could be submissive under you, but you can't be submissive under man. Okay, cool. That ain't righteous though. Right? That ain't righteous. Clearly, whatever submission is, you don't like that. You need to get from up under that, right? But then you turn around and that's what you want from the woman because you know what submission actually is. Someone under you. Isn't that what Samuel Cartwright said? And here's the interesting thing. Samuel Cartwright was saying, if you did not want that in your life, if you thought something else and you had a better ideal about your future, that was drapetomania. And don't you get on the women's head now when they say, I don't want to be submissive with no man. I want to be partners with a man. What do you say? Oh, she's masculine. You do drapetomania to her because she's saying she doesn't want to be submissive, just like you said you didn't want to be submissive. The difference is you expect her to understand yours, right? You expect her to get in line with yours because you believe biblically that's the natural state. Right? So Samuel Cartwright said that the natural state of the Negro was to be submissive scientifically and biblically, right? What do you turn around and do and say is the woman's natural state? You say by nature the woman is supposed to be under the man. Then biblically you say the woman is supposed to be under the man. That further proves you don't really have an issue with what you call white supremacy. The problem is you would like to role reversal. Come on, fam. You got the same argument against the woman that Samuel Cartwright had against you. Samuel Cartwright said your natural state under the white man is servitude and being submissive based on science. Then he went to the Bible to back it up. You say to the woman her natural state is to be up under you based on science and biology, and then you go to the Bible to back it up. What's the difference? I'm a simp. I'm a simp. You don't like that, right? You don't like that. When you in arrested development, when you at a low state, that is your prize. Having someone up under you like that, just cause. That's all you can get. Because you can't take that man. You can't take Samuel Cartwright and put him up under you. Because that's the real flex. Go to them, right? And put them up under you. That's the real flex. That's the real flex. Can you do that to them? Slowly. Drapetomania was believed to be a condition that if someone ran away, right, from the servitude, from the lynching, from the subjugation, if you ran away, something was wrong with you, and they called it drapetomania. They believed, they believed that the natural state of the black male specifically was that to be under the white male scientifically and biblically, right? Just read it to you. In modern times, what does the black male turn around and say? That the man is stronger than the woman, and science and nature has set it up that the woman should be under the man, they say based on biology, right? Then they go to scripture. Isn't that the same playbook that happened to the black man? Hmm. Black community only means niggas. It does not mean women, because the playbook is to do what the to the woman what the man did to you. Why though? Why is that the playbook? Because arrested development. You can't do that playbook to that man. So you do it to that woman, and because she don't know nothing else, she gets in line with it because she believes that science set it up like that. And she believes that that's the biblical way to live. Just like you believed at one point that science set it up like that for you to be under that man. And it was biblical for you to be under that man. There was a period of time where the Negro male in America believed that was designed like that. Just look at Fiddler in Roots. He thought that the world had always been like that. Just like the woman thinks that the world has always been like that, where men was on top of women and women played a submissive role. But that is not true, because before European contact, when you had pagan societies where you had masculine and feminine deities equal, right? There was none of that shit, right? And after they leave your land, the man is on top of the woman. In but these men are on top of the men though. And because nobody wants smoke, it's arrested development, right? And then that leads me into the belief creates the biology. If you keep saying that you are oppressed, if you keep raising your hand for all the negative self talk, that's all you will ever be. And it's having an effect on your health and your biology. You firmly believe that you are oppressed. You believe that. You believe that's the reason you're in the situation that you're in, instead of your decision making. You don't look at your decision making. You don't look at your self-inflicted wounds. You believe that what's happening to you is because of something else. No, 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 no. What's be happening to you is in your biology. What you believe about yourself and the world is why you in the condition that you're in personally, on a personal level. It's in your biology, fam. The sickness is in your biology. The condition that you're suffering from is based on your own thinking about yourself and the world. Because everything that I just said, the internet and virtual reality has kind of leveled things out. So yeah, the Spaniard did this, the Frenchman did that. So yeah, the Anglo-Saxon did this. Yeah, they had their grip on the world. But guess what? That was Pisces. That was the age of the conqueror. We are now in the age of Aquarius now, right? Where you can be anything you want to be, bro. If you step out of arrested development, you must develop your mind now, fam. You must develop your mind. You must accept the woman's humanity just like you want your humanity to be accepted. The woman in your group, surprise, surprise, sir, is a human. I know that catches you off guard. I know you thought she was something else. She is a human. All the biological functions that you have, she has. All the needs, the human needs that you need, she needs food, clothes, shelter. She has a past. She has a heart that's surrounded by a rib cage. She has white blood cells, red blood cells. She has a brain. She has a skull. She has a prefrontal cortex. She has every single thing. But you want to say, "No, we're not the same, though." Okay. Samuel Cartwright thought the same thing about you. Samuel Cartwright didn't look at your humanity. He thought that you were crazy for trying to run away. And you think that the woman is crazy trying to define herself outside of you. But didn't you want to define yourself outside of another man? You did. So why you can't accept that when the sister girl does it? And it ain't your job to hold them accountable. Because guess what? She has to live and die with decisions that she makes. That's what you wanted from Samuel Cartwright. You wanted to be able to live, die, and based on the decisions that you made for yourself. It is not your job to run around trying to police the woman. She could do whatever she wants. And whatever her outcomes is, that's on her. You got to give her that right and move out the way. Just like you wanted that autonomy from Samuel Cartwright. Humans need that, man. If they lose, they need to lose on their own terms. They need to lose from their own decision making. Move out the way. Just like you wanted them to move out the way for you. And let me tell you something. They have moved out the way for you and given you the freedom that you've asked for, and you don't know what to do with it. The best thing you could come up with is relationship topics, right? Does anybody even read anymore? Where are the books? Is anybody nerding out? Can we ever put on a tinfoil hat? Can we ever talk about aliens? Can we ever talk about Stonehenge? Can we ever talk about something other than dating, mating? Can a man talk to his ex? Can a woman still talk to her ex? That is the paradigm that y'all have put yourself in, but I understand. Belief creates biology, right? Beliefs and thoughts alter cells in your body. So this is all people can be, period, because of their own beliefs. But guess what, y'all? There's something that they never told you, and I'm gonna tell you a secret. Psst. You can believe in yourself. If all else fails, You ain't got to believe in nothing else. You could believe in yourself. Is it hard? Yeah. Is it scary? Hell yeah. I do it, right? I'm wearing my own shit, right? I come up with my own thoughts and I make clothes out of them, right? It's fly to me and I sell them. No one buys it. I'm going to keep selling it and I'm going to keep wearing my own thoughts. You know why? Because I believe in myself, right? I believe in myself. And you are allowed to believe in yourself. You are allowed to have audacity, right? You are allowed to think greater thoughts. You are allowed to tap into that childhood innocence that you had when you was young, right? Before they came in your life and downloaded you with all these beliefs. You don't have to accept the culture if you don't want to. You are not pegged to marrying a black man or black woman. You can do whatever you want. There is no group caskets. You don't have to listen to these people. How could they tell you anything when they was up under Samuel Cartwright? And when they ran away, it was called drapetomania. You don't gotta be that. You don't gotta be that. These people believe in something called white supremacy. Why would you ever listen to people that big up others like that? But the language that they use for themselves is oppressed, is marginalized. I'm not rocking with or believing nobody. You believe that they're supreme? Then what are you? What are you? Oh, now I'm talking about their system. What you mean? Is their system under the solar system? Which what are we doing here? What are we doing here? You give it power, right? Because you think more of them because they had wins in history. You can do that to yourself too. You ain't got to have $5 in your pocket. Money don't make you, right? A woman don't make you. Jordans don't make you. A car don't make you. What makes you is your ability to do something most guys on the planet can't do. Your ability to freeze your animal state and go to a higher level of consciousness. That makes you, right? You can get hella money from this position. You could travel from this position. Your ability to figure out knowledge of self. I don't care if a man has more money than you. I don't care if a man has more cars than you. That doesn't mean anything. Guess what? When it's time for him to die, he's going to get caught in the life and death cycle. Keep coming back and coming back and coming back, right? Because the secret here is to find yourself amongst the drama. Find yourself amongst the monetary system. Find yourself amongst the warfare. If you can still find yourself with all the distractions that are happening on the planet, guess what? You won't have to do this shit no more. You can transition with a light load. It ain't about the card player. It's not about the woman. It's not about none of that. It's about being able to get on the other side of the things that make you the most afraid. Transitioning from the body. They cannot control your mind, right? Don't just think physically, yo. Don't allow yourself to be afraid of not having physical things. All you need is mind. As long as you have mind, you can do anything. Anything. You're not missing anything. As long as you have your mind. Control that. That's going to control the body. Then you're going to be able to have magnetism. You're going to see things start opening up in your life, things that you want. Focus on one thing 21 days straight, 90 days straight, 6 months in a row. Nothing but focus, nothing but focus. You think you can't get a woman? The earth makes woman. Don't believe these people talking about, oh, the good women are taken. You can't find a good woman because you ain't good. All the solid women ain't taken. You can't find one because you ain't solid, right? All the women that are on this planet, you can't see them because you ain't that. So you're going to go to a dating coach, right? Who ain't fixing the problem. The problem is you. I don't give a damn how many passports you get. I don't care where you go, because everywhere you go, there you are. The problem is you. It is not the women. It ain't, I promise. It's you. And once you scale your life, let me tell you something. There ain't no ceiling. You could go as high as you want to go. I'm not just talking motivation. We have actual proof of individuals that have done the work. We have actual proof that when you focus on something long enough, you're going to get it. We got actual proof that when people apply discipline in their life increases. We got actual proof that people that take their health serious, they start having abundance in their life. We got actual proof that when you change your mind, you change your reality. We have proof. We have proof. I'm not just making stuff up. We have proof. If you don't need no proof other than me, I made this. Regardless of what you think about it, I did it, right? When everybody was distracting, I was taking my principles and creating a website and putting my ideals on the clothes. I don't have to wear Louis. I don't have to wear Gucci. I wear shit that has Coin Gang on the tag. My stuff, right? Why? Because I believe that I can. And the only thing I need to know is how to do it better. I ain't no different than you, right? The only thing is I got audacity and I believe I can. And when I wake up in the morning, a woman is not my problem. Not my mom, not my sisters, not any girl that turned me down in high school. I'm not carrying that weight on me at all, right? At all. Get over it, right? Life happens. You're right. The same way you done been hurt. Trust me, you done came out with knives too. You ain't no victim. You done lied to. You done took shit from people too, right? Anything that ever happened to you, you dished it out too, right? That's right. Come out of arrested development, all right, and walk into the world of mind. And when you walk into the world of mind, there ain't no limitations. None. Right? None. I done made money, lost it, and made it back again. I done took major losses in the game. You get the benefit from my losses. I sat with some of the realest people that ever walked this planet. You get the benefit from that. See, when I'm talking, man, I'm not one of these niggas, man, that didn't get it out the mud. I'm not freestyling. I'm not speculating. This is raw and authentic. This is the game that you apply ASAP and it change your life, and people see a difference in you. People say, wow, look at her. Wow, look at him. Man, whatever they doing, man, it must be working, because damn, they look better. Damn, they sound better. They moving better. Well, that ain't free. You got to pay for it just like I had to pay for it. Put the money on the wood. Respect the game. Respect